What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo. And before we get into the shining light of this update, which is Shuri, I want to have a little bit of a bone to pick with Netmarble because yesterday they posted up a little something in the forums, which is this right here. And this is a notice about the CTP of Rage because everybody knows that the Rage hasn't been working. There's no benefit to reforging a Rage because it isn't adding anything to our characters. Well, Netmarble decided to address this and give us the old, greetings agents. And first of all, we would like to inform that we have investigated the inquiries regarding the CTP of Rage Reforge effects, but have not found a significant issue. Really? Really, Netmarble? You haven't found a significant issue? Why is it that hundreds of players have found a significant issue? Very sus, Netmarble. And then the Marvel Future Fight team is aiming for our agents to enjoy various gameplays with the various types of CTPs. Accordingly, we are putting a weight on the balance between each CTPs and have gone through careful discussions when adding the CTP of Rage as well. And what they're talking about here is the fact that the CTP of Rage has always been a godly obelisk. I mean, it's the best for Dormammu, it's the best for ABL, ABEX, for the most part. It's pretty much the best obelisk for those game modes. So what they're saying is because the other CTPs don't perform as well as the Rage say in those particular game modes, they went ahead and just gave the CTP of Rage small buffs. Now, whenever you first think about that, you think to yourself, wait a minute, I have to use a CTP of Rage to reforge a CTP of Rage, and then I got to use other CTPs on top of that, so I get a higher percentage chance of getting a Mighty or getting a Brilliant, right? That's kind of the whole point. So you purposely don't buff it up that much for that reason. At least that's the way that I'm reading this. But let's read a little bit further, okay? However, after more discussions on how to make the gameplay more enjoyable to our agents, we have decided to improve the CTP of Rage Reforge effects. Really? And when you look at the paper, guys, or look at the text, yeah, they definitely improved it, right? The Mighty now went from 80% critical damage increase to 200%. They also extended the time of the proc on the CTP of Rage, the Mighty, from 5 seconds to 6 seconds, which makes a huge difference, right? And when it comes to the Brilliant, they actually increased the amount of damage here from 1.1 to 1.2%. And they went from increased critical damage to 130% to 300%, which is enormous. It's just insane. And then they added the time of the proc from 5 seconds to 7 seconds. That is amazing. However, here's the problem, guys. Here is the problem and where it really lies whenever they did this. It hasn't changed anything. My Brilliant, even though now instead of 200%, it's up to 260% critical damage, and went from 63% to 65% after they buffed up the CTP of Rage, and it went from increased 0.9% to 0.1%. Even after these buffs, my damage is identical to what it was before. It's identical. There is no difference in the damage at all. Now, why is it that we're getting all this extra critical damage and yet we're not doing any more damage? I don't know, Netmarble. That's your problem. That's a dev problem. You guys need to fix it. Because why in the hell would we use another CTP of Rage to reforge this thing and then use other CTPs to increase the percentage chance of getting a Brilliant if we're not going to get what we want, if we're not getting anything that's actually going to buff our characters, right? Now, also in some of that text, it looks like maybe they were referring to like certain game modes, maybe certain CTPs are going to be better than other CTPs, Well, if that's the case, then Netmarble needs to be transparent about that as well. The Reforged Rage is going to be great for ABL, right? Throw us some text like that. Let us know if that's the case. So that way, when people think about reforging an obelisk, they know where it's actually going to be good because they might prioritize certain game modes over other game modes. Everybody plays differently in these games. We all, put value on different game modes at different levels, okay? So that's something that Netmarble really should be transparent about. But let me go on a little bit more of a rant. And I'm sorry, guys, that I'm doing this during a Shuri video because I don't want to put sour taste on because she's amazing. But Hulk's tier 4 is not working. This thing isn't applying jack. We're not getting anything from it. If you do a run with Hulk using his regular skills, no tier 4, and then you do a run with his tier 4, you'll find there's no difference in the damage. It is the same. It is the same. It is not applying anything. And in the forums, they have been posting it left and right. But Netmarble, they were really quick to try to fix the CTP of Rage. They were quick to try to buff that thing because that's a moneymaker for them. But they don't want to buff a character that they nerfed tremendously. And listen, guys, it doesn't bother me that they nerfed him. What bothers me is that his tier 4 is not working. Everybody knows it. Plenty of people have tested this and it's not working. And yet Netmarble chose to address the Rage thing immediately, but they don't want to address this. It really kind of shows their true colors. And that is sad to see. That's sad to see, man. What a shame, but really no surprise. So, Netmarble, please fix Hawk's tier 4. Let it apply something because right now it's not doing anything. The only damage you're actually getting from this is the actual striker whenever they come in and do attack. That's the only damage buff you're getting. If any of you in the comments are having a different outcome, please let me know in the comments down below, or let me know if you're having the same thing as me where the tier 4 isn't doing jack form. Also, there's the issue with Black Bolt, right? And the fact that Namor is weaker than he really should be, right? But I digress, guys. They really need to fix this tier 4, and they really need to fix the Rage. They need to let us know where the Rage is supposedly going to be the cream of the crop, where a reforged Rage would be, and we need to see the damage difference. There is no damage difference right now. I have a brilliant there's no difference between this thing and a regular CTP of Rage. So Netmarble, you seriously need to fix this. Now, on to something good about the update, and really the only thing that's really awesome about this update, and that's Shuri. Shuri is amazing, guys. Easy to play, great survivability, fun, just awesome, right? My Shuri has 32,000 physical attack. She has 130 attack speed. Critical rate's almost maxed out. Critical damage is terrible, 155%. And she does have the leadership tag, which is awesome, right? She can take advantage of White Fox. That is amazing. Max ignore defense. And I want you guys to take a look at her build, okay? She has 4-star Urus in her kit. Like, when I did my run, I mean, look at this, guys. Come on, man. I could seriously buff her up way more than what she is. And her skills, her tier 3 is awesome because one, you can immediately cancel this thing. And depending on the rotation, depends on whether or not you're going to do that. It's a preference thing, I think, really, as far as damage. There's not a tremendous amount of damage between the two rotations I'll show you, but the rotation that I do find I do a little bit more damage. It seems to be a little bit more consistent as far as doing damage to an actual opponent, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But she's got 0.7% accumulation on the tier 3. And whenever we see 0.7, we think, it's not really that good. We really want to see +1, 1.2%. But it's good, guys. She is strong. This character is strong, so it's actually really great for her. And then her passive, they jumped this up from 45% to 55%. They jumped this up from 35% to 40%. So not only does she increase the damage of herself, self-buffing damage buffer, and decrease damage also, she also does it for everybody else on the team, which makes her godly valuable, right? Her 1 to 2, no big deal. The third skill has a damage proc by 80%. And you really, in my opinion, you really want to put the proc on the third skill for this reason. You want to get that damage proc. And then the fourth skill gives her a critical rate buff by 10%, all attack by 40%. She gives her a nice 30% recovery heal on top of the decreased damage received by 40%, really giving her a great amount of survivability. And then her fifth skill gives her another 40% attack buff. Also, this barrier is pretty damn cool for survivability. And then her passive, chain hit damage by 15%, ignore target dodge rate. For Null is amazing, although we're not going to be facing Null. And then her leadership, is pretty much typical speed crap, right? Typical speed crap leadership. Now, when it comes to playing with Shuri, guys, you can do this a couple different ways. Here's how I do it. 5, delay, 4, 3. All right, you want to make sure she throws out those little bombs from the 5, and then go in. And then you're going to do that twice. So 5, delay, 4, 3. You'll do that twice. And then in the third rotation, what you're going to do is you're going to go 5 delay, tier 3, 4, 3. Okay? Or you could do 5 delay, 4, tier 3, 3. Now, what some people do is they'll go 5 delay, 4, 3. They'll do that one time. And then what they'll do is they'll actually go 5 delay, 4, 3, tier 3. And they'll put the proc on the tier 3. I found, guys, that I do a little bit more damage when I do it the way that I showed you the first time, where we go 5 delay, 4, 3, 5 delay, 4, 3, 5 delay, tier 3, 4, 3. That's the way that works out the best for me. Not to mention, guys, your skills look absolutely beautiful. Just amazing, right? She has no type enhancement. I want you to keep that in mind along with the rest of this build as far as what she actually does against Mephisto. Because if I had this leveled up, and I do plan on leveling it up, she would do way better. She'd have better survivability, which you'll see she doesn't even need, and she'll do more damage, right? It's pretty wild. She only has a stage 5 Power Ranger Hawk set on her. If this was fully awakened, I would have a 40% increased attack proc, right? I'm getting like an 18%, I think, something like that right now. And if this was fully awakened, we'd have higher native stats, more physical attack on her. It makes a big difference. Her artifact gives her increased ignore dodge and all basic attacks. So if you had that thing, it would make her even better for null and it would increase her damage, which is pretty sweet. Then we just have a nice little recovery rate, which is kind of useful for her because she does have a heal in her kit. She'll heal a little bit faster, but the mind resist is useless on her. But the 2% proc is nice. And she's definitely a deserving character, but she's really a deserving character of a CTP, in my opinion. And she just has a normal uniform. Now, I left it at normal for a reason. I wanted to show you guys how much damage this character actually can do. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the run for you guys right now so you guys can check this out because this is pretty damn sweet. And yeah, this is stage 34 against Mephisto with the build that I have. Using Maya for the leadership, increase all attack, and of course, boss for the extra support. And like I said earlier, guys, when it comes to Shuri, whenever you're putting your proc on your 3rd skill, she's not in an iframe, she's down in a secluded area, and she's just going to hit her opponent more often. And I think that's where you find that you'll get a little bit more consistent damage, right? And that's why I like to do it this way. I just seem to do a little bit better. Whenever I used the other rotation where I was proccing on the tier 3, it still was good, but I found that we lacked a little damage because sometimes when we did the tier 3, when Mephisto would be charging after us and he's moving around all over the screen, that the tier 3 just kind of moves all over the place and doesn't really hit the target. Whereas if you use the 3rd skill, you'll always hit the target. So therefore, you'll actually do a little bit more damage over time throughout the entire fight. That's what I found. That's why I'm doing it this way. If you're doing it the other way where you're proccing on tier 3, that's great. She's still powerful as hell. Still going to be easy to play either way you go. It really doesn't matter. It's a matter of preference, guys. It's really a matter of, how you really like to play the character. But I mean, look at her damage, guys. I mean, this is with a regular obelisk. I know it's 10% proc, but she's only got 155%, critical damage. She would do way more damage if that was maxed out. She would do way more damage if I had mythic physical attack Urus on her, right? She's got 4-star, physical attack Urus on her. Like, she would do way better. I've seen people clear stage 60, Mephisto, stage 60 with her. That is insane for a free-to-play character against this bastard. That is insane. I mean, I know she's got the type advantage. That's nuts. And speaking of type advantage, if I had that thing leveled up, this would be even easier because we'd have more survivability, we'd have more damage. But look at her, guys. She's doing amazing. I mean, stage 34 isn't like super hot, but I don't have a super great build on her, right? You can't expect a whole lot from her at this point. But she's doing very, very well. Like, this is a character that I think people could invest a good amount in, and they're going to be really happy with her. Like, this is a character that you could put a CTP of Energy on, or a mighty CTP of Destruction, and you're probably going to be pretty damn happy, guys. Like, because of the ease of play that she has, because of the survivability, and she's just really, really fun. And again, guys, like, I can't stress this enough, at least for me in the testing that I've done. Whenever I procced in that tier 3, I just found that, man, my damage just wasn't as consistent. Now, maybe against Null will be a different story, I don't know. But, like, right there, guys, though, proccing on the tier 3 is actually really good, because when these purple attacks are coming down, the tier 3 moves all over the place, similar to Jane Foster's tier 3. And because of that, like, when you're proccing on tier 3, she moves around all over the place, so a lot of times the purple attack will miss. That is an advantage to it. It is, because then you can do damage to Mephisto. But I went ahead and just kept the same rotation that I'm doing throughout the entire run, because, I just seem to do a little bit better. Whenever I tried this and I procced on my tier 3 over and over and over, I couldn't quite get the clear. I was like, I'd be within 2 bars, 3 bars of getting the clear, right? So it wasn't quite as good, but I only tried it a couple times to be fair. So yeah, but when I did it like this, I could do it the first time, right? Now we're gonna be cutting it close, but I did do it just one time trying. So that tells me it's a little bit more consistent, a little bit better to do it this way. At least in my humble opinion. Another thing about Shuri that's pretty damn amazing, guys, and we can't stress this enough about any characters, is that her movement speed is wonderful. The girl can run. She's got legs, man. She's got legs that just don't quit. It's awesome, man. I love it, right? You guys know I'm a big fan of movement speed because you can get out of danger, right? And yeah, Shuri's no exception to that. It's awesome. I mean, seriously, guys, the best character of the update, man. Easily. I mean, I don't know about M'Baku because I don't have him, but he doesn't have a transcendence skill or tier 3, and I probably won't do a review about the character until he does, because we're really at a point in the game where there's really no point. I mean, yeah, this character could be, you know, should be, and I just don't want to go into all that, man. I really want to talk about characters that we actually can use in our, you know, higher level content. Because a lot of players, even mid-range players, I mean, they're playing World Boss Legend. You need tier 3 and awakened characters, right? And yeah, so we'll see how that goes in the future. Hopefully in the mid-month patch, you'll get a little something. That would be pretty sick. Oh yeah. Nice. And I also love, you know, having this debuff from Maya's leadership is so great on Shuri because, you know, you don't have to worry about taking any damage and be like, or not taking damage, but you don't have to worry about getting stunned. So we were able to do that, which is awesome, right? Now we only have 6 seconds to spare, but considering the build on my Shuri, that is a feat of strength right there, guys. That's a huge feat of strength that she was able to do that. That is pretty damn sick. I am very, very impressed with Shuri. She really is the shining light of the update, but Netmarble, you seriously need to fix the rages. You seriously need to fix that tier 4 and Hulk. It needs to be working because right now it isn't adding anything. So all the players that level up these characters, got them all built up, they're not reaping any benefits at all from what they paid for. And you need to rectify that. Also, hashtag buff Namor a little bit and fix Black Bolt. So guys, let me know how y'all feeling about good old Shuri. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody.